Hey team, I wanted to make a video. I am doing a little bit of housekeeping, some cleaning up stuffs. Oh, I just saw a pile of stuff I have to clean. Great. But I just got my stuff out of storage, and so I'm getting rid of stuff that I don't need and kind of trying to consolidate. I'm selling things because I'm going to spend more time in the car, and I don't want to buy another storage unit. My parents are nice enough that I'm keeping a lot of my stuff in a shed that they just built out back. So things are kind of going, but in the process, I had my things in storage and everything got covered in mouse poop. My storage unit was down in the cities, and so a vast number of people, vast number of mice, so who wanted to be out of the cold weather. So they found my storage unit. Good, not cute. But I ended up just trying to clean everything. I had made a video where I made a bunch of bags. I wasn't using any boxes, any cardboard for moving. I sewed bags out of the shirts that I had as kind of a challenge. I didn't want to go out and get boxes, so everything I had to fit into these bags that I created. And one bag had these. They're little dog toys that I sewed with miscellaneous clothing. This is an old sweatshirt that I had with little accents from a jacket that I had. The sleeves were too tight on the shoulders, so they kept ripping off, and I mended them. I sewed them back together like a couple of times, but I kept hulking out on it, and so I ended up just cutting the sleeves off, and I had a vest for a long time. I actually made that into a bag later because I just wasn't wearing the vest, and there's no point in having a bunch of stuff that you're not wearing, that you're not using. So I ended up making a bag out of it, but I used some of the pieces for the face on this guy, and it was meant to be a dog toy. I don't have a dog yet. It's been on the wish list for a long time, but I've just apartments haven't allowed pets, and my last one did, but I was working 60 hours, and that's not fair to any animal to leave them alone for however many hours a week, 50, 60 hours. So it wasn't in the cards at that last place, but it's still on the wish list. But anyway, I made a bunch of these dog toys just as an experiment, and I used fabric scraps from my miscellaneous other sewing projects. I have made a few videos. I'm a DIYer, an upcycler, so I use a lot of fabrics, just old clothes that I've had in the wardrobe, and this is an example down here. These are all fabric scraps from different projects that have accumulated, and I saved them for a long time in this bag thinking, I will be able to use these, I'll be able to use these for something, and I did. So I used some of these for those dog toys. But because of the mouse poop, I had to wash all the dog toys, wash everything. And so I found, this is another one of the dog toys, just a ball, a ball pillow. And they are all stuffed with those little fabric scraps. I did notice, I kind of thought, I'm very comfortable putting this in my mouth. This is one of my old sweatshirts. I would wear it around all the time. If I were to go to like a store, I wouldn't know what kind of chemicals were used on them, what kind of, like starches to keep them kind of firm, or, just things like that. And so I don't know if I'd feel comfortable putting them in my mouth. But with sweatshirt materials, there's zero problem with that. Definitely. I'm totally fine putting them in my mouth. But so that was kind of the thought process of that, using the scraps. I washed them though, and they're still damp on the inside. I was kind of thinking polyfill. I had heard growing up that you aren't supposed to put pillows in the wash, just because you never know how much of the surface area of the filler is going to dry properly when you take it out of the wash, put it in the dryer. You just don't know, and so that could lend itself to like molds and mildews growing within the interior of the pillow, which you would then be breathing in like every night you're asleep or every time you use that pillow, which would be unhealthy for your respiratory system and just all, it could, affect all of your systems, obviously. So I had kind of heard, don't put pillows in the wash. And so I was like, okay, well, with these scraps, we can, it should be okay. The dog toys, I wasn't thinking I was going to have to wash. So I put them in the wash and they're still wet. And I don't know how much of the inside is wet per se, which is not better than the polyfill, not better than the filler, which is kind of a duh, I guess. A little disappointing though, just because I thought it was a good idea at the time. But I it was just the dog toys that it is in. I guess I kind of knew that some things would have to be washed. So here's an example of that. I made fabric bolsters. So this is one of the bolsters. I got peanut butter all over it when I was doing transient life, so I had to wash the outside of it. But I built in this zipper thinking I would put the fabric scraps in, I would be able to take the fabric scraps out so I can wash the bolster and I can wash the fabric scraps. So all of these are actually from one bolster, one footstool, I guess. I can sit on them, I can use them as a backrest, just things like that. But they're in the apartment for decoration, and these were all the stuffings. I decided that I wasn't going to wash these because I don't have a garment bag. Like they have those like garment washer bags that you can put, like your delicates into, so like bra hooks don't get hooked onto things and get wrenched out of shape and things like that. So I was gonna get like a delicates bag for the laundry and kind of wash these and then throw them in the dryer, but I decided no, I don't have the delicates bag, and it was primarily peanut butter on the outside of the bolster, so I decided that I wouldn't be washing these this time around. But that was kind of the thought process, was to be able to wash this stuff, dry this stuff, and then put it back in. Like I said, with the dog toys, because I didn't have the zipper so that I could take this stuff out, there is moisture in there and I don't know where it is, and I don't know. I did put them back in the dryer. It is difficult to tell because it is cold also. And I've been leaving this stuff in the dryer to the point where they can get cold again, because the exhaust for the dryer goes to the outdoors, and so it lets in the cold air from Minnesota winter, and so that's cold, and cold sometimes can feel damp. So I don't know how damp they are. I'll probably start the dryer again and we'll see. But it's still an experiment, so I'm pretty excited. I'm just going to go ahead and put the stuffing back in this, tuck it in my car. The peanut butter came off really well. Woohoo! And so it'll be a cute piece again. Ta-da! Experiments abound. So the more you know, the more you know. Just wanted to make a video on that. I'm going to get back to stuffing this stuff in. Ta-da! All the scraps are back in there. So I just have to zip it up, button it, and all the scraps are in there, and then kind of get it back into the shape that I want, and we're good to go. So the scraps, I super packed them into this just because I knew that I'd want it to be a nice cube shaped, so I put a lot into this one. But it's firm, so I can sit on it and it'll keep its shape. I have another dog bed that I put the scraps in, and I actually love it just because it is very firm but also really soft. I'm a big fan of firm beds, firm sleeping areas, so I just appreciate this as a filler. So ta-da, we are good to go. That's all. Have a great day. Bye.